Welcome to Monday Morning Dharma on June 8th. Thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and settle in for some meditation. And before we do, I'm going to invite you to really give yourself a gift. Really treat yourself to turning yourself over to meditation this morning, and just like give yourself the gift of taking a break from your thinking mind. Yeah, kind of like love yourself enough to give your thinking mind a break and just rest in the peace and tranquility and spacious clarity of your consciousness, of your awareness. Remembering, of course, that awareness is the mere absence of thought. Your awareness, free of thought, is your birthright. So let's give ourselves permission to really enjoy it. Give yourself a gift on this May 8th. June 8th. Thank you. That's like some subconscious thing. I'm trying to slow time down. So then, yeah, June 8th. In our childhood, we may have pretended or emulated different role models, perhaps a superhero, perhaps a ballerina, or a famous actor or actress. This morning, I'd like you to emulate the mountain, silently observing in ancient wisdom awareness. No hope, no fear, no praise, no blame, no expectation, simply resting in awareness. Please gently transition into meditation on the inner body. Be the mountain, silently observing sensations within your own body mountain. The thinking mind ceases. Discursive, often pointless thought ceases. And all that remains is the peace of awareness, as vast as space, an awareness that transcends time. Rest in this yogi mountain state as we rest with this morning's Lam Rim meditation, which is on equanimity. At some fundamental level, categorizing people as friends, enemies, and strangers is insanity. It's not fair to the beings who share our world with us, and it's not fair to us. A much kinder approach to yourself and all beings is to rest in a warm, friendly disposition toward all beings equally. I'd like you to please just rest in this decision to have an internal state of equanimity. Rest in this decision of equanimity while continuing your meditation on the inner body. Over the course of our lives, we've seen friends become enemies and enemies become friends. We've seen strangers become friends. We've seen strangers become enemies. And we've seen friends and enemies become strangers. Everything is constantly changing, especially our perception. Why not short circuit this pointless exercise of categorizing the beings around us and just cultivate a warm, friendly disposition toward all beings equally? Please rest in this decision of equanimity while meditating on the inner body. Now, please, please gently redirect your awareness Become aware again of your physical body and allow your breathing to become less shallow. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of your body. Become aware again of your surroundings inside the room that you are occupying. Deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you are occupying. We dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation to world peace. May we, as practitioners of the Dharma, soon make a meaningful contribution to world peace by cultivating and ultimately perfecting our own practice of equanimity. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Thank you very much. Thank you and welcome back. Welcome back. So, because some of you know, our Dharma talk excuse me, last Friday was on equanimity. Excuse me. And just reminding us for now that I think as we become familiar with or deepen our practice of equanimity, we needn't necessarily change how we do things or say things with regard to equanimity. Let's just cultivate an internal disposition for now. Yeah, an internal warm and friendly disposition toward all beings equally. And then the appropriate and helpful words and actions will naturally come from our change in heart. So, excuse me. So, our next lamb rims are kind of two that have kind of a hand in glove relationship. We're already up to number 8. Number 8 of our 21 lamb rims, and I'll touch on both 8 and 9 this morning and probably again on Friday in Friday's Dharma talk. Reading from the New Meditation Handbook. Lamb rim meditation number 8 is recognizing that all living beings are our mothers. Recognizing that all living beings are our mothers. Geshe Kelsang writes, generating bodhicitta, which is the path to enlightenment, depends on universal compassion and cherishing love, which in turn depend upon affectionate love. To enhance our affectionate love for all living beings, we begin by contemplating how they are all our mothers. Since it's impossible to find a beginning to our mental continuum, it follows that we've taken countless rebirths in the past. And if we've had countless rebirths, we must have had countless mothers. Where are all these mothers now? They are the living beings alive today. It's incorrect to reason that our mothers of former lives are no longer our mothers just because a long time has passed since they actually cared for us. If our present mother were to die today, would she cease to be our mother? No, we would still regard her as our mother and pray for her happiness. The same is true of all of our previous mothers. They died, yet they remain our mothers. It's only because of the changes in our external appearance that we don't recognize each other. Amazing, amazing stuff. In our daily life, we see many different living beings, both human and non-human. We regard some as friends, some as enemies, and most as strangers. These distinctions are made by our mistaken minds. They are not verified by valid minds. Rather than following such mistaken minds, it would be better to regard all living beings as our mothers. Whoever we meet, we should think, this person is my mother. In this way, we'll feel equally warm toward all living beings, kind of the fast track to equanimity. If we regard all living beings as our mothers, we'll find it easy to develop pure love and compassion. Our everyday relationships will become pure and stable, and we'll naturally avoid negative actions such as killing or harming living beings. Since it's so beneficial to regard all living beings as our mothers, we should adopt this way of thinking without hesitation. Yeah, wow. I've read that and meditated on that countless times. And I guess maybe because my own mother passed, my mother of this lifetime, I should say, passed fairly recently, it makes a special impact, an especially powerful impact. You know, at the end of the day, I think one of the fundamental tenets, maybe the fundamental tenet of Buddhist doctrine, is that everything is a made up idea. Everything is a fabrication of the thinking mind. Everything. And sharp students will say, yeah, what about emptiness? What about emptiness? I mean, we've been talking a lot over the last few weeks about the fact that, phenomena is empty of inherent existence. There aren't really any fundamentally defining aspects or qualities. Yeah. Even emptiness is empty. Emptiness is empty of inherent existence. It's all a made up idea. So the question becomes, what is the most beneficial made up idea for us to adopt? Yeah, beneficial for ourselves and beneficial toward those around us. I think ultimately Buddhism is suggesting that we make up a new idea, one that is beneficial toward ourselves and those around us. Hence, this notion that all beings are our mothers. Doesn't roll off the tongue, actually, but are our mothers. I've said a couple of times before in leading into these Lam Rim meditations, Geshe Kelsang writes at the beginning of the new meditation handbook, there are two fundamental, foundational elements of everything that's forthcoming in the 21 Lam Rim meditations. One is conviction and karma, laws of actions and effects. Then the other is conviction in past and future lives. And we can see how this intersection takes place in this meditation on all beings being our mothers. Yeah. If we've had countless rebirths in the past, that means everybody else is having countless rebirths. And where are they? They're surrounded. We're surrounded by ourselves, our mothers of past lives. A really, really beneficial, powerful, made up idea. I happen to have very, very strong conviction in both past and future lives and in the laws of actions and effects, the laws of karma. So it's pretty easy for me to embrace this view. Yeah. Not saying that I live it every moment of every day, but in terms of this being a beneficial view for me to adopt, can't be much more beneficial than that, I think. Yeah. So I've just got a couple of minutes before we close, and some of us may have had good relationships with our mothers of this life. Some maybe not so much. Yeah. And for those of us who have had a difficult relationship with our mother of this lifetime, this meditation and the one that follows, the kindness of living beings, recognizing the kindness of living beings, i.e., our mothers from past lives, that to the extent that we had a difficult relationship with our mother in this lifetime, these two Lamrim meditations might not be entirely accessible for us. And I hear that and I respect that. I'm not qualified to get into a discussion of like contemporary psychology regarding mother issues. But I will say this. Our mother of this lifetime could have chosen to evict us. While we were in our mother's womb, she could have evicted us, and she didn't, right? Thus, we were born into this world. And thus, we're here in this moment right now learning Dharma that has the means to bring us unsurpassed, immeasurable happiness and freedom. Yeah. So at some level, we can look at this greatest opportunity of this lifetime and maybe other past lifetimes. I talked about the beetle in the movement room, a few classes ago, right? I don't think the beetle has the opportunity to practice Dharma, you know? I don't think any non-human beings in the lower realms anyways have the opportunity to practice Dharma. We do. We're here now learning about equanimity and karma and emptiness and compassion and everything, the gifts of a lifetime. Ultimately, we have our mother of this lifetime to thank for that. Doesn't absolve necessarily mistakes that our mothers made. There are no perfect mothers, right? We know this. But I think recognizing the great good fortune that we have being here on this path and deepening our experience of this path, if it weren't for our mother, none of it would be possible. So I would invite you to hold on to that. If you had a good relationship with your mother of this lifetime, let's celebrate. How wonderful to remember the kindnesses. Yeah, so anyways, I'll stop there. Thank you, dear ones. Have a blessed day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, most welcome.